आमच्या भविष्या खातीर ते बलिदान दितात. आम्ही मजेत घरात असतात ते त्रासांची येतात. सीमेर उबे राहून देगीत तुमकां फक्त देशाचीच काळजी. तुमकां आमचो मानाचा मुजरो सलाम फौजी, सलाम फौजी. तुमकां आमचो मानाचा मुजरो सलाम फौजी, सलाम फौजी.
जय हिंद व्ह्युअर्स अँड वेलकम टू माय शो सलाम फौजी. तुमकां खबर आसाच की आमी हो शो लोकांक मोटिवेट करपाक आनी टू क्रिएट एन अवेरनेस अबाउट आर्म फोर्सीस ह्या खातीर आमी हो शो करतात. आनी वेगवेगळे अधिकारी आर्म फोर्सीसचे तुमचे म्हऱ्यांत हाडटात आनी तांचे कडल्यान म्हायती गोळा करून दितात. आज असोच एक अधिकारी आमच्या म्हऱ्यांत आसा, आमचो गेस्ट लेफ्टनंट कर्नल मिलिंद वसंत प्रभू. Originally Prabhu is from Saligaon. He is a tough, intelligent and qualified officer and has achieved excellent results in commanding units in both the administrative and technical parameters. Welcome to our show, Colonel Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
बरे असले तुम्ही आमच्या शोन आयले. I am very happy that yet another Goan is there in the armed forces. Why did you choose to pursue a career as an officer in the armed forces?
Basically, if you see, my father was from the IFS, Indian Forest Service. Rest all of
Indian Forest Service.
Yes, so he was the first batch. So and rest all of us cousins are from the armed forces. So it has become a culture. In the family, we have a Mahavir Chakra and the Veer Chakra.
Oh, great.
My uncle was no more, and my cousin, he is a Veer Chakra of the 71 war, both of 71 war. So we have been, one of my uncles was during the Second World War also. So we have got a huge tradition of this thing. Unfortunately, now with better opportunities, slowly the family has shifted to normal private sector and all that. So the future generation, let's see what happens.
What branch of the military have you served in?
I have served in the electronics and mechanical engineers.
EME.
EME. So we handle right from, our time it used to be from bicycles to helicopters, helicopters, missiles, anything that is mechanical and is electronic. Is having ECCM, electronic countermeasures, ECCMs. The core of EME handles a wide range of equipment. It basically, as the artillery says, they talk of their guns. We put the boom in the guns.
Oh.
So that the round that is fired goes to the right place at where it is supposed to land. The technical aspects are done by us.
And how is the entry?
Entry is, if you see, when I went through the OTS, so it is a CDS, Combined Defense Services exam is there. You clear that, then they take you for a service selection board. So you have to be in Allahabad or Bhopal or
Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal or Bangalore.
Bangalore. There is this thing, then they allot you. And this thing, we are there, then there is your psychoanalysis. For officers, it's a very tough process to go, right from physicals to your mental ability to your ability to sustain pressure. So there are group tasks and everything that you have to see, and how fast you can analyze a situation and come to a conclusion. That is what an officer is required. Because when you are in the armed forces, initially it feels like you are going on a patrol and a person is there, you are in leader. The lives of all those 20 to 30 people behind you as a platoon commander are dependent on your decision.
Platoon commander or company commander? Whatever.
Company commander becomes a bigger, he has 120 people. Platoon commander is 30. But as a youngster, you start with 30.
Platoon commander.
But platoon commander, and those 30 people are there whose lives depend on your decision. You take the wrong decision, you also might lose, they also might lose. So you have to be very concise in what you do. The training in OTA is very hard. It takes you 9 months. The training, if you can survive that, you become an officer. I am using the word survive. It is not easy. Sundays we used to have off with only a 10-mile run. Rest, we used to start in the morning at 4 o'clock and finish at 12 o'clock at night.
After roll call parade?
No, there is a 9 o'clock roll call, but after that also the ragda continues.
Continuous.
You see, you have to be very tough to this. People lose 20-30 kgs of weight after joining OT. It's a very tough this thing. Then you have to do different kinds of obstacles, this thing, route marches. The final route march is Shatrajit, where you have to take around 17-18 kgs and walk around 60 kilometers cross country.
Cross country, yeah. With full equipment.
With full equipment. Rifle, see, when we joined OTA, we used to see our seniors. They used to handle the rifle like as if it's a kid's play. If you see Shivaji, he used to handle the sword and all that. Now you try to lift it, you feel it is very heavy. The technique is very simple. You marry the weapon with the soldier. So similarly, a rifle, you get 2 rifles issued. One is called as the DP, drill purpose, and the other is for firing. So each person is authorized to. They kept in the code. So DP, you start living with it and for using it for this thing. For firing, you take the rifle. The drill purpose rifle is used. So you get used to the weight. So when we used to see our seniors, so easily they were handling the weapon. It is so. But after 4 months, we were also in that. It becomes a part of the body. You are sleeping with it. You are traveling with it. You are doing your regular action with the rifle. So that is how it becomes. It becomes a part of it. That is how training is.
Colonel, how this branch was alerted to you, EME, and what is the role of
EME looks after, as I told you, of all the equipment and all that. You have a EME school Baroda. So after we do a VIOS at EME school Baroda, it was a prolonged VIOS for us because we do what you call postgraduate in automobile engineering. So there the principles are very simple. This is a Jeep. How does it work? This thing that is taught to us, then you strip open the Jeep and you assemble the Jeep. It is not engineering that you do on paper. You have to be a hands-on person. That is what EME teaches you. And that is one of the things that gives you confidence.
And what are the qualifications?
You have to be a science graduate if you are going through normal OTA entry, or if you are a non-technical, and if you are a technical entry, then you have to do engineering. Electrical, electronics, and now computers. If you do all these things, you can get in. Then you have to do your final. Then there is another entry that I started. It's called CTW entry. The CTW entry, they pick up 12 standard people. They have to pass the SSB. Then they go to Secunderabad. The CTW cadet training wing is there. There they do your 4 years of engineering. That is proper engineering. If you look at MCME in Secunderabad, it has got one of the widest resources in the country. It is topmost everywhere. Even IIT people after graduation come to do projects. If you go for aviation wing, then if you're doing there, they've got jet engines, they've got helicopters, everything. If you go for guns, then guns are at Baroda, EME school Baroda, which handles the main gun. Then tanks are with FEME in Secunderabad. They handle all kinds of tanks and everything. So you've got a cut model of a tank, which is not an easy thing. They've got one of the best teaching aids in the world. So people from friendly foreign countries also come to do engineering with MCME and this thing. And after that, they join various streams that are required. But before joining this, you have to, after graduation, you have to do your initial attachments. You get attached to infantry units, where you learn the basic combat skills, implement combat skills, and be your what we call blooded in. You be in combat, your confidence develops and all that, and you ensure that you handle your fear well.
Colonel, you were detailed with IPKF operations, Indian Peacekeeping Force operations in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Will you tell us about it?
We had this, after commissioning and doing a course, Sri Lanka operations had started. So I was posted to a field workshop there with one of the India's prime brigades called as the 55 Infantry Brigade Group. It was a brigade group that handles operations. So we were based in Muttur, then different places we did operations, KKS, Kankatan Surai, then Vavonia, Jaffna. We did all operations in this way. We achieved this thing. We even Sri Lankans were, what happened is that LTT was not aware of the fighting spirit of the Indian soldier. Normally they are aware that if there is some 1 or 2 casualties, they will back off. We don't do that. We get after them. If the enemy, we touch an enemy, it fires, we fire back, and unless we wipe them out, we don't come out. That is the moral of this thing.
Colonel, you have also commanded Border Roads Organization, BRO unit in hostile territory of Arunachal Pradesh.
Yeah, we were there. It was a field workshop. It had a longer axis, what is called as an 800-kilometer axis along this. One used to touch Anini and other was Hailong. There was a place called Helmet Top. There the 62 battlers, after the Chinese left, it remained like that. So these areas were developed by after the plan was there that whatever areas we were behind, when the army went forward and stuck there, so this road access had to be developed. So there were places where we had dozers were listening. There was what is called formation cutting platoons. Its area is very hostile. Hostile in the sense it is not people that are hostile. It is the terrain that is hostile. These are new young Himalayan mountains. So you have landslides, you have earthquakes. All the houses that you have there have metal structures with very thin walls.
Colonel, it appears that the passion of sailing has travelled with you all the way. While in service, at the instance of Madhya Pradesh government, you helped establish the country's first national school in Upper Lake in 2006-07. Please tell us about this.
Sailing has always been my passion. I was the secretary, Laser class of Laser is an Olympic class boat. Even today also I sail. So when I was there, after that, I was posted there for a month. I had to start. Madhya Pradesh wanted to start the sports in a big way. If you see Madhya Pradesh after 2006, it has won almost all the awards for the best facilities. So we started it, and I was there was a minister there. She said that I want medals. You tell me what has to be done. She gave me a free hand. There was a Director General of Police, Chaudhary, who was the Director of Sports Authority of Madhya Pradesh. He said, you tell me what to do. So I was, army was unwilling to post me there for this thing. But if you see, she put in adequate pressure, and I was posted to 3ME Center, where I was attached to this National Sailing School, Bhopal. This was the first sailing school in the country. So I put on the template and started picking. I picked up what you call street kids, trained them, and then put them into water. So we used to do very regular training. We put them in good army schools, and 25 of them, we won around 70 medals.
Oh.
And 4 international medals. So I was very happy that we could achieve this. And all these were kids of poor people. Some of them became direct DSPs because they were qualified then. Some of them joined the army. Then one became a lieutenant commander. Now he's leading the Navy's team on sailing and all that. Aman Vyas, Lieutenant Commander Aman Vyas. All these people got good jobs. So when I took premature and landed here, I also had given a similar offer to the Goa government. I said, you pay me 1 rupee a month, get me the equipment. All these people who are there doing nothing, fishermen, children, poor people, I'll train them. We'll put them in this thing. Goa has got one of the best sea places, if you see. The OK Dinghy World Championship, I was the organizing. It was conducted at Cidade de Goa. World Championship. Enterprise World Championship has also been done in Goa. Goa has pristine waters for conduct of these sports. Unfortunately, we have not exploited them. We can become one of the best sailing destinations in the world. You look at winter in Europe, everything is frozen, all boats are out. In winter, we have got such a beautiful place. So somewhere somebody has to take the initiative. And there are people who can, it is not me only, there are others also who can push Goa to, at one time Goa was dominating sailing in India. Unfortunately, that has withered away.
Colonel, what do you consider to be your greatest accomplishment as a military officer?
I don't consider anything as it is the military that gave me so much. It is military, it taught me to think differently and say if you believe in this thing. What happens is, I'll tell you, as a technical combatant, you have to, what you call, you start believing in this thing. You are working on hand and also you are calculating, and this has to function this way. Greatest thing that I got is what I did, India's first concrete floating jetty in Goa, at Old Goa. People said in Konkani, they said, "Takli phirli tachi, concrete float jaina," but it floats. Now you have concrete floating jetties all over Goa. They reduced the cost of a jetty from, say, suppose it's 100 crores. A concrete floating jetty will cost just 30 crores.
Okay.
So that is why I consider that as a gift that the army has taught me. They have imbibed me in the spirit that if you trust yourself, walk ahead, irrespective of what you do, you will be a success. But that confidence who puts in? It's the armed forces that put. I never thought during my training that carrying 18 kgs at the final, I would be able to walk cross country 60 kilometers. But we did it. So stamina is not just your lungs, it is here. And sailing is a sport which sailing is a sport where the range of the boat is here. Yeah. It is not in the fuel tank because it's on windsurf.
Tell us something about Marina.
Okay, the Marina, yeah, this is Marina. We have this marina that we want to put at Goa, at Naushi. There are a lot of people who are feeling that they don't want. But I'll tell you this, what the marina will do, it will get people with deep pockets. Once you get people with deep pockets, you will have lesser number of tourists, but more number of economic activity. That is what marina does. If you read about it, there is a country called as Croatia, which was destroyed during the Serbian war. What they did after the war, they decided we have to grow very fast. The fastest, Croatia is a group of islands and all that. So what they did, they started marinas and they started blue flag beaches. A blue flag beaches means that the beach is maintained to such a level that foreigners come there. Everybody comes there. Unfortunately, in Goa, when people tried to make this Miramar beach into a blue flag beach, we have the Makanaka gangs, opposing everything without thought. But look at it, if the marina comes up, there will be 300 jobs available to the locals. I am a local, I am going to provide it to the local. I can't get somebody from outside who doesn't know about water. The fishermen folk and all that, these people will get jobs. Presently what he does, there are people in Goa who are outside working on marinas. What they do, they go to Singapore, spend 5 lakhs, take a training course, join a marina somewhere. That training I will provide you here at Naushi, free of cost, but you have to work for 2 years for it. And then you have got a job right next to you. And this is an environment-friendly marina. There is no emissions and all that, nothing happens and all that. But we have got a lot of these so-called activists, environmental activists who don't understand the environment, all that. They are just activists. And they have got some other agenda actually.
Colonel, how did you prepare yourself to join the armed forces? Number one. Number two, how can Goans prepare themselves to join the armed forces, and how will you motivate Goans to join the armed forces?
I feel Goans do require motivation. Most of them can't leave our nuste and this thing. Army is a tough life. For that, if you do, you have to prepare yourself. You should be physically fit. You should play games. You should be extracurricular activities good. And what you call studies and all that, if you have 60-65%, you are okay. They don't want people with huge brains and all that IIT. In fact, when I was appearing in Allahabad, there were 2 guys from IIT who were with us. They got rejected. And I said, yeah, how is it possible? But then I understood that they are looking for something, some motivation in you, some spark in you that takes you to a higher level.
Colonel, now we have Agniveer scheme in the defense services. What are your views on it?
I don't agree with this Agniveer scheme. If you see people who join the armed forces, like I join a regiment or this thing, it is for a lifetime. It is my family there. You can't have somebody coming here for 4 years and then getting, especially with technical course. I can tell you that it takes 7 to 8 years before you can independently handle an equipment. Lot of people have got this feeling that 4 saal mein karne. We don't operate weapons, that rifle and all that. These are personal weapons. Our means of obliterating the enemies are different. We have missiles, we have guns. You look at a gun, now a gun fires from a place, goes 40 kilometers and lands at an accurate place where the enemy is. It takes years of training. It has to match. It has to become what you call amalgate into a solid bond, because everybody knows everybody. And in 4 years, it is simply not possible for any technical or this thing to become a, what you call a soldier who can independently fight this thing. If Agniveer is that good, why don't they introduce it in the police? Do 4 years and then out. Soldiers require specific skills of a very high order. That is not possible with Agniveer. Everybody is keeping quiet कि भाई ठीक है चल जाएगा. Your losses are now, if you look at it, 3.5 lakh soldiers are less. Because आते हैं जाते हैं, you don't keep them. If you wanted to, and a person who, what motivation he'll have when there is no cushion for him. You look at a soldier, when he goes into battle and he dies, his family is taken care of by the armed forces by paying a lifelong pension, war pension and all that. Now with the Agniveer, what motivation is that? Okay, you are this, you are paid X, you are out now. You are no more concerned with the armed forces. They don't get anything. See, there is unemployment in the country, so you will always have. But are you getting quality stuff into the armed forces? You are not. Everybody, there were people who were being recruited. If you go to North India, there were people who used to run, people used to be recruited properly and they used to join the armed forces. Then there was the father, the son, and you go to villages in Haryana, you will find that it is a tradition. Now with this Agniveer, you can do Agniveer for a bit, 10%, 20%, but keep the main core of the unit the same. Take it for Gorkhas, the Gorkha regiments, one of the most decorated ones. What has happened? Nepal has refused to send you Gorkhas. What is happening then? China is recruiting Gorkhas. If Gorkhas were not that good, the British army would not have Gorkhas. Gorkhas are recruited in the British army. They also have regiments. That is what the pact after independence. They get pension and everything. Here you made this thing. What you have created is, you have degraded the Gorkha battalions now. You might find all these people who in service they will try to defend it. But factually on ground, It is, Agniveer has a very bad thing that has happened to the armed forces.
What is your message, Colonel, for Goans?
I think let's get out of this shell to these Goans. Let us make, like we should now insist that the military school should come into Goa. There are 50 vacancies for Goans in every 6 months to join as soldiers. Hardly 1 or 2 come up. If you feel that you will get a cool life and all that, see, it is like climbing a mountain, your career. Initially you have to work hard till you reach a threshold. If you don't do that, you said, I will go on the slope and this thing, you will never succeed. But once you climb that ladder up, then it is smooth sailing down the way. You will be adequately paid compensation, you will get a good pension, and you can live your life at a decent standard. I don't mean that you will have a rich standard, but you will be a decently well-paid person, respected by the community.
Thank you, Colonel. It was nice having you on our show. Thank you so much for coming. And you viewers, we will be bringing many such inspiring stories to you. Keep watching Prime TV. Salaam Fauji.
सलाम फौजी तुमका आमचा मानाचा मुजरा सलाम फौजी